Speed limit. Do you know what that means? Welcome back to the Temple of the Holy Beard. I'm Pastor Dave. Thanks for tuning in. Today's video is another entry from the Encyclopedia of Misunderstood and Misused Words. Speed limit. I'm sure you've seen it posted on the sides of roads. Pretty much every road has a sign posting the speed limit. You may or may not know what it means. When you were first learning to drive, maybe you went to driver's ed. Anybody in the last 20 or so years was probably required to go to some sort of a driver's ed class, and in that class they should have taught you about what speed limit means and how to read that sign. However, if you were a little bit older or just weren't paying attention, you might not have gone through that class, or if you didn't pay attention, you might not have learned anything they were trying to teach you. A lot of people paid attention what they needed to. They learned it just enough to pass that test, and then it's gone. And based on the way people drive nowadays, I tend to lean towards that direction. They pass the test, and they don't care after that. Anyway, moving on. Speed limit. Like I said, it's posted on every road, or at least it should be. Generally, there's rules. If the speed limit is not posted somewhere, it's usually a rural area, and you need to know what the laws are for that area. But most areas, if it's a rural area and it's not posted, the speed limit is considered 55 miles per hour. But you do need to take into consideration what type of road it is. If it's a small rural road going around houses, then the speed limit is generally more towards 25. Rule of thumb, in a neighborhood type of area, the speed limit is usually 25 miles per hour. Now, there are some neighborhood areas where it's a main road and the speed limit might be a little bit faster, but that's a good general rule of thumb. If you don't know what it is, if you haven't seen the sign, then go with those rules of thumb. However, there's also something to be said for going the same speed as other traffic if there's other cars on the road as well. Oftentimes, people don't drive what they should drive based on the speed limit. So there's a safety factor that goes involved with driving similar speed to what everybody else is. If you drive much faster, then you're running the risk of getting pulled over. If you drive much slower, you're running the risk of causing an accident, which does happen. But what does speed limit actually mean? Well, what speed limit means is the maximum speed that you are allowed to drive in the best situation, the best circumstances. So what that means is if the weather's nice, if it's warm but not hot, if it's dry, it hasn't been raining lately, the road's not wet. In those circumstances, the road is going to be warm enough to give you good traction. It's going to be dry, so you shouldn't have anything to slip on. You should be able to speed up as designed. You should be able to slow down safely. You should be able to make corners safely. That sort of thing. If somebody slows down in front of you, assuming that you've got good following distance and whatnot, you should be able to slow down safely and not run into them. Same thing, hopefully the car behind you won't run into you when you slow down. What speed limit does not mean, it's not a challenge. It's not a, I dare you to see if you can go faster than this. It's not a race. That sign is not trying to outrun you. It does not mean to drive that speed or faster in any circumstances or weather conditions you desire. Reason I'm saying that is many drivers tend to think, at least in my area, they tend to think that when the weather is bad, you should drive faster. No. When the weather's bad, you should drive a little bit slower. You should leave more distance between you and the car in front of you. You can't control the person behind you, but you can control how closely you drive to the person in front of you. you allow more distance, slow down a little bit sooner, hit your brakes a little bit sooner to warn the person behind you, a little bit slower through the corners. If weather's bad, whether it's wet from rain or snow or ice or the possibility of it, or even just really hot, believe it or not, heat does play a big factor as well. Most roads in the Western worlds, unfortunately, are made out of asphalt. Guess what the main ingredient of asphalt is? Oil. Oil. Guess what happens to oil when it gets really hot or wet? It gets slippery. When it gets hot, those asphalt roads tend to loosen up. That oil kind of liquefies a little bit. Now, the older the road is, the less issue this is, but you can't take that into account while you're driving. You just got to drive. Assume the worst. Prepare yourself for those worst situations. Allow a little extra distance, like I said. Allow yourself more room to stop, more room to turn. Always assume that person in front of you is going to do something stupid right now. Always allow yourself a little bit extra space. Watch them. Watch the person in front of you. Watch the person next to you. That's called defensive driving. Be on the defense for that person to do something stupid and unexpected without warning. And so, again, when the conditions are bad, if it's hot, the roads could be getting slick. If it's rainy or icy or cold, there could be moisture on the ground, which would cause that ground to be a little bit less grip, slicker, slippery. And you could slide easier. You might try to slow down, and your tires just can't get that good of traction. So the speed limit is the best of situations. The fastest that you're allowed to drive in the best circumstances. You need to slow down and adjust for less than optimal circumstances. So that's that. I want to keep this short. This is another entry for the Encyclopedia of Misused and Misunderstood Words. If you have anything to add, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up like button, and subscribe if you haven't done already. Hit that notification bell to stay informed. If you know anybody who could benefit from this information, be sure to pass this video along to them. Share it with your friends, your family, your followers. Let's get the word out and help educate these people who may not be educated otherwise. Again, thanks for tuning in. This is Pastor Dave from Temple of the Holy Beard. Stay safe, stay sane, keep learning. Thanks for watching.